On this episode of the Sports Opinions podcast, a big-time basketball fan, Kenny Verges, joins the show as we talk about the NBA draft lottery, NBA playoffs. We discuss who ruined basketball for a lot of fans more, and we talk the LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate. But listen up, if you are a sports fan, which I know you are because you're listening to the sports podcast, don't miss out. Go visit overtimeheroics.com. When you get there, you will find great articles on every single sport, and also visit the forum. It's a great spot for you to talk to other podcast hosts like me, big-time sports fans like yourself, again, on any sports topic. So don't miss out. Go take it a visit. And without further ado, cue the intro. What's up, sports fans, and welcome to the Sports Opinions podcast. I'm your host, as always, Alex Cuesta, and with me today is my brother. He's one of the guys that I work with in the union. He's an insulator with me, and I'm not scared to say he's kind of a LeBron apologist. My man, Kenny Verges. What up, Kenny?
Yo, my man, Alex. How you doing, brother? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing all right. Now, in the spirit of the podcast, I just want to bring this out. We are Sports Opinions podcast. We are not sports journalists, sports reporters. So I love to bring on the average fan like I do. And Kenny is just a fan that's going to be really basketball heavy because Kenny likes his basketball. And we're going to get to some LeBron stuff so y'all can hear him spread his love for LeBron. First, we're going to start with some current topics, some things that have been going on. The NBA playoffs are going on, but before that, the draft lottery happened. And Kenny, you're a Virginia boy, but you're up here in New York right now working with us. And people in New York were buzzing. Everyone was convinced the Knicks were going to get number one. And then the draft lottery starts. And two of the teams that were tied with them at 14% out of the top four, no ping pong balls. The Bulls, 12%, sitting there, I think, at like 7, something stupid. Ping pong balls start to drop. 4. Lakers get up there with 2% chance of being being number one, which was ridiculous. Then 3 hits, and it's the New York Knicks. And I could just feel the tears of all the Knicks fans out there.
Yeah, man.
What were you feeling? Were you like, part of me being a Nets fan, I laughed a little because I knew all the mess that Knicks fans were talking.
Yeah, I get into it with the Knicks fans pretty often. Here in the city, I felt their heart drop as well. But I don't know, man. The Knicks they just never had that kind of luck, man. When I think about Zion Williamson and I think about what he's going to bring to the league, it's interesting. Some people are trying to predict early, it's his shooting percentage, what he has to offer. I honestly think Zion has a lot to offer. And the Knicks is one of those teams, man, where they grab great players, but they grab them when they're coming down on that roller coaster, so to speak. They never grab players as they're going up.
Yeah.
When you think about the Carmelos, when you think about the Stoudemires, when you think about all the great players, I mean, they hardly ever grab them on the upswing of their careers, and so I don't know, man. I just didn't feel like they had that kind of luck. I honestly wanted to see the Knicks begin. I wanted to see them as far as I've been here, in our generation. I wanted to see them too jump on that upswing, but I don't know, kind of like you, man. I'm kind of more of a Nets fan, So
buddy.
I watched that stadium get built. I was living there in Brooklyn when I was in college, and I'm more of a Nets fan. I have a little more belief, a little more faith in the Nets. So. Just like you, dude, I honestly did feel their hearts. I felt their hearts drop, but I predicted it, dude. I said they're not going number one, man. I don't know. It just is. I just had that feeling. I just knew they're not going number one. That's not what they do, man. That's not their MO, bro. They don't bring people in while they're on their upswing. Honestly, that's just my feel on it.
Yeah, they're a far cry from getting Ewing number one and then bringing in guys like Bernard King when they were on the upswing, taking them from our Nets. But rounding out the top group, number 2 was the Memphis Grizzlies, and number 1 ping pong ball was the New Orleans Pelicans. With Anthony Davis seeming like he's on his way out, they're going to be bringing Zion in. For all
Mm.
intents and purposes, Ja Morant's going to be a Memphis Grizzly. How is that going to shake up the league? Mike Conley seems like he's on his way out of Memphis. They're going to have a new star over there in the grindhouse. I feel like these are two guys that can kind of shake up the league where they can make a major difference in both of those franchises.
I think it's going to be huge, man. I think Zion has a lot to offer. I am interested to see how he reacts to the NBA. You know, oftentimes when I see Zion and I think about how much he's been promoted over the years.
Since
Now
high
Zion's
school.
since high school, man. I mean, since freshman year.
It's
So
crazy.
I've been seeing, I've been seeing Zion for years, for the last few years now. I know this last year since he's been at Duke. I mean, his senior year too. I think he began to get a lot of notoriety, but
Yep.
I've been seeing him for a few years, and it's interesting though because oftentimes when guys are being looked at and scouted and promoted and really receive the hype at a young age like that, they begin to kind of get spoiled in a sense. I hope I can use that word because I don't know. I look at LeBron's and I look at certain guys, and when they receive that hype, they kind of get spoiled. I mean, everybody's on their side, and then when they come to the NBA for the first time, honestly, they deal with the Patrick Beverleys. They deal with these guys that
Iggy's
could
and all
care
that.
less
Yep.
about your feelings, about your
Uh-huh.
life, about your hype. They're coming for you, man. They're coming for everything. They're coming for everything. All your clout, everything that comes around you. They want to see you at the bottom. They want to see you where you're at. And you face a lot of guys with your talent. So I am interested to see how he responds to the NBA attitude. I know often people say it's not like it used to be and blah, blah, blah. But you still got your guys out there.
Oh, you
That's
got
going
dogs.
to give you. Oh, yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's
You got
exactly what
dogs.
you
You
have,
got
man.
Draymond Green's. Like people want to talk about Draymond. Draymond's
Oh,
gonna go at Zion the
oh,
first moment he
oh,
gets. Dude's
oh.
like Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez is a dog. He is gonna go
Mm-hmm.
at him. Steven Adams. There are still guys in the league that the first time he touches the ball, they don't care what he does. They're just gonna throw an arm right across both of his arms, hard foul him, and
Mm-hmm.
let him know he's in the NBA.
And dare him to say something.
Yeah.
And dare the referee to throw him out. They don't care. Some of these guys can care less.
No, they do not.
So
care.
I am interested to see how he responded. I mean, when I look at LBJ or some of the greats who received his hype when they were young. I mean, I look at LeBron. He dealt with it well. He still deals with it. He still deals with the people on his back, the clout chasers, so to speak. He still deals with it. He does it well. But there's some people that honestly fold, man. They don't deal with it well, man. And as a result, their game is affected. So I am interested to see how he responds to that. But overall, man, when it just comes to pure talent and not those that are gonna just come for him in that sense emotionally. When it comes to his pure talent, he has a lot to offer. And I think New Orleans, when they bring him on, that's gonna shake up the league, man.
100%.
I'm sorry, that's gonna shake up the conference. People
Yeah.
can say what they want. They need a guard. They need this. They need that. But that's gonna shake up the conference, bro.
And I don't see Zion having any issue emotionally because he showed me a lot this year. I had questions about, he's in Duke, he's pampered, he's playing with a bunch of talented dudes. And I had questions, he did come over, take the NCAA by storm. But I look at the NCAA right now, it's like 20 guys that could play basketball and then everyone else just kind of tries. And Zion was a man amongst boys there, but he showed me a lot. When he got hurt, he could have easily said, "Nuh-uh, I got my Nike deal coming. I'm going to be the best player in the rookie class without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a superstar already. I don't got to do nothing more at Duke." But he showed me a lot by coming out and saying, no, I'm playing. I came here to win a chip. I did not come here to sit on and to ride the bench and watch my dudes go fight in the tournament. He showed me a lot there, which tells me a lot about the dude's mental fortitude. So I don't think he's going to have a problem at all in the NBA. I think he's going to be a lot like we saw Kristaps Porzingis come in with the Knicks, where dunking on dudes, being emotional, being a dog, yelling at, like, I think Zion's different than that, but I don't see him backing down from any of those guys at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get with you on that, man. I can definitely see that. this prediction that I have, I'm still holding to it. I do want to see how he responds. But I will admit, I did have this same prediction when he went to Duke. I was like, man, I wonder how he's going to act. I wonder is he going to stand out? Is he going to blend in? I did have that because Duke has so many people coming in, you know?
Yep.
So I see what you're saying. He did show us a lot at Duke. He was very consistent. He was exactly who he was in high school. He didn't shrink back. You know, he responded to the hype, the interviews, to this, to that. So I will get you that. But the NBA is another beast, man. I mean, college is a beast. College is a beast. I'm not taking anything away from Duke, man, D1, but I'm just saying NBA is another beast. And these guys have been doing this for years, man. Some of these guys just don't care. They not nice. They don't play fair, man. You know?
Nope.
A lot of these guys do not play fair. So I am interested to see how he responds to not just the competition, but the emotional aspect. You know, those who are doing the interviews who are certainly coming for your career too, man. That are coming for your personal life. And then on top of that, dealing with the players from day to day, from city to city. You know, even your own teammates. I am interested to see how he does that. But he's gonna shake it up, though. Regardless, he's gonna shake it up. He's gonna shake it up.
But we're speaking of dogs. Right now, the NBA playoffs are going on. It is May 17th of 2019. Beautiful year, beautiful thing we got going. It was a gorgeous day in New York. But we got it going on right now. And the two championship series, Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals going on. And right now, Golden State holds a 2-0 lead after a hell of a game where they came back. They're playing without Kevin Durant. And again, the playoff superstar of their team, not Klay Thompson, not Draymond Green, not Steph Curry, even not KD when he's there. Andre Iguodala is that dude come playoff time. He guards the best player, and you saw it at the end of the game yesterday when Golden State sealed it up 114-111. Yes, Steph may have hit the shots, but Andre Iguodala stripping Dame Lillard in the last shot, not even giving Dame a look, is what wins this team games in the playoffs and what wins this team championships. It's defense from Iggy, from Klay, from Draymond that do it. And I'm just curious, right now, playoffs, they're up 2-0. They defended home turf like they're supposed to. They're going to go to Portland. Does Portland have a shot against Golden State, even without KD?
You know, Iggy is certainly a factor. I'm happy you brought him up. Oftentimes when people bring up Golden State, they begin to state the offensive side. And of course, man, top tier. Offensively, top tier, just too many threats. But when it comes to Iggy's, the Livingstons, when it comes to these guys who play both sides of the ball so consistently and so greatly, it matters. It certainly matters. And that play at the end of the game was outstanding, man. Did you see that strip? Oh, my goodness.
It was Planet Iggy. He's been doing that since he was in Philly. Literally been doing that.
Oh, my goodness. Since AI.
Philly.
Since AI, bro. Yep. People don't know it, man. It's some kids, I was talking to some younger kids. They don't know. They just, they
don't know that Iggy was the heir apparent to AI. Like, they don't realize that AI left and Andre Iguodala was the new AI in Philadelphia. People don't realize he was the dude.
He was soaring from the free throw line in Philly, man. Like, people forget about that. People forget about that. So to see him now, oh my Lanta, man, this guy is amazing. But dude, without KD, man, are they better? This is a question, man. This is a topic. No shot. Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's what I see. Here's what I see. I'll throw that in because I actually talked to one dude on the site today and we had this conversation. You want to know why they're playing as well as they are, even without KD? What has Steph Curry had to do with KD being there? Let's be honest. Steph Curry has not had to have the scoring load. He's been able to really dish the ball off more, focus on being more of a point guard. He doesn't have to hoist up 11 threes a game. His ankles are fresh. He's a fresh dude. When Steph Curry's fresh, KD or not, the dude's going to ball. So that's how I see. Everyone's fresh. KD took a lot of pressure off everyone, but now that he's hurt, everyone's fresh and they played without KD before. It's not like this is anything new to them. This chemistry is still there. So I don't think they're better without KD. There's no shot. KD's the number 2 player on the planet. But they're still unbelievably good, and they're still probably going to win the championship, regardless of KD.
I see your point, man. I
Now,
see your
what you
point.
feel about it?
You
You think
know,
they're better?
I do see what you're saying in regards to Steph just taking a load off when KD's in the game, man. I get it. However, bro,
However,
the ball movement is close to perfect, man. When KD's not on the floor, I mean, it's so unpredictable, bro. Especially with Draymond throwing those alley oops to Looney, like it's so unpredictable. That ball swings, and it doesn't stop. You know, there's nobody that's gonna stop that. KD's gonna take his shots, man, and he's gonna put up his 30. I respect it. Number two guy on the planet. He's amazing. He's outstanding. He's outstanding, bro. You know, he's not the average guy. He's turned into a legend. But man, it just that team as a team is so dangerous. Like you don't know who the ball is going to. It can swing 6 times and anybody can shoot. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. It's close. It's close, bro. It's close. And honestly, if you ask me, I believe they're just a small notch better without Durant, bro. I mean,
wow.
KD is amazing. KD is amazing. And I would not have ever said this a month ago. I would have never said that. Why better without KD? No. Heck no. Heck no. But dude, after seeing them, man, after seeing them this last week or so, man, bro, that they're dangerous. That's a dangerous squad. Who knows? Maybe they're out to prove something. You know,
They
without
might
KD.
be, but but I got to bring this up. There's only 2 teams that I know that have won championships without a bona fide scoring superstar. That is the
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Pistons or Rip Hamilton in that group, who
Mm-hmm.
were all stars, but besides Sheed being an elite, unbelievable talent, the rest of the guys were just really good. Chauncey, really good. Rip, really good. Tayshaun Prince, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs, before Kawhi got there, Timmy Duncan was an absolute superstar, but he wasn't a scoring superstar. Tony Parker, star. Manu, star. But none of those guys were, Durant scorer. End of
Mm-hmm.
the game 7, Golden State Warriors, Durant on the floor. Who gets the ball in winning time? It's KD. You need that
KD's
guy in
getting
the
it.
NBA playoffs. When KD's not there, it can go to Steph or Clay. Those two will trade evenly, but I am much more confident with KD taking a winning shot than anyone else on Golden State. And that's one of the main reasons why they're better. He adds 4 or 5 wins in a year and another 3 or 4 in the playoffs because of his talent, because he can win games in the end more often than the other guys on that team.
Okay. I see that.
And I'm sorry to Jay Crawford, who hates Kevin Durant. I had him on a few times. Sorry, Jay. He hates Kevin Durant. He ruined the NBA for him, which we're going to talk about that too. But sorry, Jay. So I don't know. I see what you're saying. They are snapping the ball around more. But you know what? Let's see. Let's see in game 3 or 4. Portland defends home turf. Let's see what Golden State looks like going over to Portland. Because it might be different teams.
I'm interested.
In front of Oracle, they're different.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on. Real quick, what's your prediction? What is Golden State or Portland? How many games? Who's winning that one?
Golden State, man, 4-1. That's just going to be that. Yeah, Portland's going to take 1 at home, and it's over, man. That's it for that. It's over.
I agree with you, Golden State. I say 4-2. I say Portland defends turf, and I feel like Golden State does what Golden State's been doing this year. They get beat up a little, they have to adjust, and then they take care of business. So that's what I'm saying. All right, we're switching gears to the East. Game currently going on. Milwaukee Bucks playing the Raptors. Bucks are up 1-0. They're defending home turf. My boy Brook Lopez went off in game 1 for 29. Carried the Bucks to that win. This one is battle for the third best player in the league for me between Kawhi and Giannis. I believe Kawhi's the third best player in the league. Giannis is rapidly rising. I think the Bucks are the better team overall. But we can't forget about the Raptors. Who do you see coming out the East right now?
I do see Milwaukee. I think it's going to be a Milwaukee Golden State this year. Yes, Giannis is definitely dangerous. He's competing for that number 3 heavily. I honestly think he is number 3. Kawhi is certainly more versatile. He's much more seasoned as a player, but yeah, it's just nothing you could do with him. You could do something with Kawhi. You can contain him. there's not a player I think that can contain the Greek Freak. But yeah, I do see the Bucks coming out the East. I think Toronto's gonna give them a run. I know that first game they took the loss, but Toronto's gonna give them a run. That might even go Game 7. But I think the Bucks is coming out the East.
Now, one thing I do observe here is excuse me. The Bucks are a much more complete team where Giannis has more help. He has Chris Middleton, he has Brook Lopez, he has a lot of scoring there. Who do you see off the Raptors? Yeah, Pascal Siakam is a much more improved player. Playoff Kyle Lowry is as good as Jeremy Lin, who's on that bench.
Right.
Who is helping? Really, who is helping? Kawhi. Kawhi is carrying that team on his own. He's pulling a LeBron and carrying a bunch of dudes. Where Giannis has some legitimate dudes. He has another all-star. He has two all-stars because Lopez was an all-star one time with the Nets. So he has two all-stars with him. So, I think the load is a little easier on Giannis in terms of he doesn't have to be great every single night in order for them to win games.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I honestly think Kawhi needs more help. He's great. He's good. But he only can do so much. And you hit it right on the head, man. The way I look at it, he is certainly carrying that team, just like LeBron did. But he's not LeBron, unfortunately. So he's not LeBron. He's great, though. He's certainly great. LeBron. So nobody's LeBron. But he does need help. I'm right with you, brother, when it comes to the comparison of him and Giannis, because the Greek Freak, man, he can have an off night. He could take minutes off. He could sit down. He can take a break. While he's at work. This guy Kawhi is taking no breaks. There's no coffee break for him. Like you're gonna get in there and you're gonna play every single minute. And you're gonna play your heart out. You're gonna play both sides of the ball. You're gonna play offense. You're gonna have minimum turnovers, and you're also gonna check the best person on the floor. And dude, you only can do but so much of that. He's carrying that squad. I honestly think I'm surprised he carried them this far. I wasn't predicting this. But yeah, you hit it right on the head, man. Like this dude could have the Greek Freak can have an off night and they still do well. They still take a dub, but Kawhi's there's no off night. Even you seen him in Game 7, man. The guy took 37 shots, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
He should have scored 70, bro.
Yeah,
people were like, oh man, Kawhi had 40. And I said, the guy went for like 19 of 37. He shot the ball every time he touched it.
He went Kobe.
He should have had 80. What do you mean?
He went Kobe.
Kawhi should have had 80. Don't talk to me about 40. Now, I'm happy for him. I'm happy they took the dub. But that guy shot the ball until he caught fire. It wasn't okay, I'm off tonight. Let me just take a break. A Steph Curry, I'm going to just have 15, 20 points or whatever. Stephen Clay can afford that. The Greek Freak can afford that. Kawhi cannot afford 15 points. No, Kawhi. He's in the locker room like, you shoot the ball until you score 40, until you score 30. And, that's not healthy. That doesn't add longevity to a man's career, Nope. I think about my boy Booker down in Phoenix. That's what he does. He shoots the ball until he hits it. He shoots the ball until he catch fire. It's almost like 2K with this guy. Kawhi, I feel like that's been him. It's been I feel like it's been a game of 2K over the playoffs. Pass the ball to circle and let him shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. Eventually, he's going to make it. Now, I'm not knocking Kawhi. It's not personal. He's on a team where he has to do that. But at the Spurs, it wasn't like that. It didn't all fall on him, Yes, Kawhi, you could put up 20 tonight. Yes, Kawhi, you could put up 15. It don't have to be all on you. In Toronto, Kawhi, you must score 30 plus. And that's not gonna carry him forever, man. That doesn't add longevity to a man's career. No. Kobe only did that for so much. Kobe did that. Shaq left. Kobe did that. He did it for some years. He got hurt. He did things. Eventually it just it put him out. I'm not comparing it to his career because, of course, Kobe was later in his career. But I'm just saying, it doesn't work like that.
It's a lot of mileage on the treads. A lot of mileage on the treads when you're doing things like that.
Big time.
So I'm predicting this one. I'm predicting 4-1. I think that Kawhi wills them to one win, but the Bucks are just too much. How about you?
Yeah, I believe so as well. 4-1, man. 4-1 Bucks.
All right, so we're going to go on to a fun topic, one that I kind of teased. We're going to name this segment "Who the Hell Ruined Basketball?" Now, I have a few
Mm,
candidates for who ruined basketball. Boston fans are about to get mad at me, but basically, the big moves have been a lot of people are saying KD ruined it for them, LeBron ruined it for them when he went to the Heat. I'm throwing in a wild card. Did Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett ruin basketball when they went over to Boston and created the first modern era Big Three to go and win a chip? How do you feel about
yes,
that? Hell yeah, they did.
yes, yes,
People
yes.
forget that. They give them a pass. They get a pass. Paul Pierce gets a pass for recruiting the best power forward in basketball at the time and one of the best shooters in the history of the game to come and win a chip with them. But they get a pass for that.
Yes, that's it's interesting because when we look at the modern era, oftentimes people they begin with the Heat. They say, "Oh, the Heat, they ruined basketball, this, that, and the third." But yeah, it was certainly Boston, as far as our generation. Boston, they started that trend, man.
Mm-hmm.
They started that trend, and they begin when it came with Katie, when it came to those big three there. That was the end of it. That was the end of it.
Yeah, it was, and it was ugly. And why do people, LeBron gets a lot of heat for going down to Miami with the way he did it with the decision, quote unquote. Why does Bosh get no heat? Again, Bosh was a top 3 scoring power forward at the time, going to join probably the best shooting guard in the game next to Kobe at the time and Dwayne Wade, and obviously the best player on the planet, joining forces. But because Bosh was number 3, nobody gives Bosh any heat. And if you just have Bosh and Dwayne Wade on that team is probably in the Eastern Conference Finals, either that way. So how does he not get any heat? Pun intended.
Yeah, yeah. I look at that too. A lot of times, Chris Bosh gets a little bit of a walking pass. They just kind of throw him under the umbrella, and if it comes to any personal attacks, they come straight for LeBron. I'm just assuming because of where LeBron was at in his career. I think Miami. Honestly, I think raw talent that was the best part of his career. And when he came back to Cleveland, that was the most educated he was when it came to basketball. That was the most knowledge and well versed that was the greatest he ever was overall. That guy was so intelligent on the court. When that first year back in Cleveland was ridiculous, but when he was in Miami, raw talent. I mean, I'm dunking on any and everybody. I'm shooting. I'm scoring. I'm doing. Oh, dude, that certainly was his best
That was
his
the
best
most
ever in his
fun.
career.
The most fun LeBron was the Heat, I would say.
Good,
But the best
great
LeBron
way
was
to put
second
it.
time Cavaliers.
Yeah, great way to put it. And so I believe because of who he was and where people wanted to see him at, they wanted him to be that Michael. You come to one team, you stay with one team, and you take them all the way. Um, that comparison was so heavy. I mean, before he even came into the league, I think people that's just what they wanted to see. They didn't put themselves in his shoes and say, well, this, that, and the third. And so when he came over, that's what the focus was. Bosh, I don't know, man. He kind of got a pass because at that time, Toronto Bosh was outstanding, man. That guy was
Unbelievable.
great.
I think he
Yeah,
brought
he
him to
was
the
great.
playoffs like twice with an awful roster. I think he or
Oh
missed the playoffs
man,
a
with
few
that
times.
with that ugly mouthpiece, man. That
Oh,
guy was great.
he
He was
looked like
great
a
at
raptor.
Toronto.
Like he was the legitimate mascot. Chris Bosh looks like a raptor. Like he's a
Oh, it
real
fit
life
him so
walking
well.
raptor.
Oh, it fit him so well, man. It fit him so well. So no, he was outstanding, dude. He was outstanding when he came over to Miami. Yes, he received a pass, and I was kind of confused. I still am when I talk to guys, when I talk to other sports fans in regards to the decision. Um, he deserves his share as well. He deserves his share as well because he really helped lead that team as well.
And people also forget and they knock LeBron for the decision. And it was a little bit dumb the way he did it, taking my talents to South Beach, whatever. All the proceeds to that event that he put on went to a charity. So
Hmm.
how you going to knock a guy that, yeah, he did it in a certain way, pissed a lot of fans off, but stop and think. He got a lot of sponsors. He got airtime. He got good money for that, and it all went to charity. Like, come on
Hmm.
now. What other guy
Hmm.
does that? What player does that?
Hmm. Yeah, they give him a lot of heat in regards to that decision, but it was a good one. I know it was a tough one, but it was a good one. When I look at him and KD, because oftentimes that's compared.
Yep.
You know, KD was at OKC, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's taking Golden State to Game 7. They are his rivals. They
Yep.
are his rivals.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to jump ship, I mean, I know we may be going back in time a little bit. You know, we're trying to get over this. To me, it would never be over because he jumped ship to go to a team that was not only his rivals, he had the opportunity to beat, and he was already there with them. That team was already arguably better than Golden State. So when
Absolutely.
he jumped ship, it was, and to go there, I understand if you couldn't play with Westbrook anymore, it doesn't look like Westbrook is the easiest teammate. But to jump
Leave
ship and
Uncle
to go to
Russell
Golden
alone.
State.
I love Uncle Russell. Leave him alone.
to jump ship, that looks like a difficult relationship to uphold, man. He's like that Dominican wife that you got, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's great. He looks good, man. He looks good on the
Wow.
floor. He looks great on the
You're
floor, but behind closed doors, man, he's crazy. That's the kind of person he looks like. He looks like a Dominican wife. But anyway,
I
you
like
know,
that.
fam,
That was funny.
that's like LeBron leaving Cleveland and going to Boston that year. That's what KD did. He left.
Yeah.
He left OKC and went to Golden State. LeBron didn't leave Cleveland and go to Boston. That would have been the same thing. He didn't leave his team, right, that he was struggling with and carrying, and go to his rival team just to win a championship. Because Boston was his rival team.
Yeah.
He went to Miami, and yes, Miami had won years prior, though. They wasn't a competitor the year before. They were losing, they were losing. So LeBron left Cleveland and he went to Miami and he did what he needed to do to beat Boston, to beat his rivals.
Yeah.
KD went to his rivals. He didn't do what he needed to beat them. He went to his rivals, and it's just so much different. It's just so much different. And going back to your original thought, yes, Boston ruined it. LeBron did what he had to do to beat Boston. That's what he did. He wasn't worried about Dallas or anybody else. He was worried about beating Boston. So if KD would have did what he had to do to go to another team to beat Golden State, he would be probably talked about way much more. He probably would get much more love. I know he feel like he doesn't get the love that he deserves, but you got to earn it too, KD. And when it came to your move, I'm sorry to go back in time, but it wasn't the same as some of the other greats. Like everybody else, I feel like did what they had to do to beat their rivals. I feel like he just succumbed to the pressure and went ahead and joined his rivals. I still don't know how he puts on that jersey every night and says that Golden State is his home. That's tough for me to see, but he doesn't. He doesn't.
So who ruined it more, Boston or KD? I threw you in there.
That's a great question. Boston ruined it more. They made it cool. They made it okay. They made it necessary. Again, when I look at LBJ and some of the others, they made it necessary.
Yep.
They made it necessary. I feel like Boston ruined it more. Now, who stands out more to me? KD, because of him going to a big three that was already great with or without him, as we see.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams, LeBron, Miami was doo-doo before he went to Miami, and they're doo-doo after he left. Boston was doo-doo before the big three got there, or before Kevin Garnett got there, and they were doo-doo after he left.
Yeah.
Golden State does not need KD, man, and you can put that on record. KD's amazing. He's amazing, but they don't need him. So as a result, emotionally and personally, yes, I would throw mines out there and say that I hate the KD decision more than any of them. But who ruined it? Who made it okay and who made it cool? It was Boston. They can't be excused. They get a pass, I guess, because Paul Pierce and KG are some bullies and Ray is so humble. they get a little walking pass, but not to real sports fans. They ruined it. They started it. They made it okay. They made it cool. They made it necessary. But who I hate personally more of it was KD, and that's because of where he went.
I like it. I like the emotion. I don't care that KD left. Maybe it's because Golden State's been my second favorite team forever. So for me, it's like, all right, rich get richer. But I did like it when it was an organic movement, when it was, Steph, Clay, Draymond coming up through the draft. And then we kind of got pieces. We got Livingston. We got Iggy. We got certain pieces to join them. And now KD doesn't feel organic anymore. So I think that's kind of what, like right now, we're looking at the organic team playing again. It's Sans KD. But I don't know. For me, basketball's never been ruined because I've been a Nets fan. So after 2000 and 2001, we haven't had a shot. So for me, it was like basketball was ruined because we were bad at sports. That was basically it. But we were talking, we talked about a lot of LeBron there. We're going to talk about the debate that I hate the most in sports, who versus who, but it's always fun and fans like to hear it. I got to start it off with this question. We're obviously talking LeBron versus MJ. Got to start it off with this question. If LeBron James, after winning championship number 3 in Miami, after winning that, if he decided to go, you know what? I'm going to take a year off and go play some football. Or 2 years. Go play some football. And then decided to come back. Would he have been demonized or would he have been welcomed with open arms? Because I'm telling you right now, he would have been destroyed. He would have been absolutely destroyed on social media. But then we got MJ going, you know what, deuces, I'll come back and wear the 4-5 in about 2 seasons. Like, what? What? That wouldn't happen now. LeBron would not get that. Like, it's funny how fickle the fans are now. Social media has made fans so fickle. It's absolutely insane, the stuff that LeBron deals with that Michael has never had to deal with.
May the fans please look at LeBron and see what he's up against.
Everyone.
One thing you stated, my brother, is that Michael Jordan, he wasn't his position. He wasn't really up against another great. He wasn't up against the Kobe or LBJ. You got to think about the history of the NBA. Like the NBA has been around for how long? 2 generations?
Well,
3 generations?
To your point, when he was up against the great of the great, he got his ass beat for 3 years against the bad boy Pistons. And then he finally got over that hump. But he needed Scotty. He needed Rodman to come over. He needed some dudes to come to the dark side in order to get over that hump. Like, I get it. He beat Rodman, but he had Scotty. And then Rodman came. Man. And then Tony Kukoc, one of the best 6 men of all time, came. And he had Steve Kerr. And he had Paxton. And he had BJ Armstrong. And he had dudes, Outlaw. Not Travis Outlaw. BJ Outlaw. A center that was a Horace Grant, one of the best centers in the game. Like, people forget that Michael had dudes. He had dudes.
Michael, and again, when it came to that position that he played, it wasn't really anybody. I mean, they tried to throw Doc in there. They tried to throw Bird or Magic or whatever, but everybody, they played much differently. There was nobody that played every position. Like Jordan played at that time. He was just one of a kind, and we're still talking 1 or 2 generations, this is still recent. So when you think of all the guys that came up after him and that LeBron is compared to, it's tough. And social media and all the analysis and all the technology and LeBron is up against the world. He's up against the world, man. And, that debate can get sensitive because it is ideal to memory, It's interesting when it comes to the greatest kind of talks, you may even think about yourself, your greatest vacation or your greatest. It's often something in the past because when it comes to the past, once it's over, you seem to only remember the great moments, LeBron isn't a past yet. He is current. He is very current. He's still here, man.
Yes,
he's the only person from his draft class that is very, very active, my guy. And so early 2000s, this guy is still here. He still makes the statement. He's still the best person on the floor. He's still the guy that's getting the ball in the last. He still is the greatest in the NBA.
Oh, so I got a few things to ask you real quick. I got a few.
Yeah,
things.
go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
remember when Damian Lillard got a lot of credit for being willing to give up the ball to C.J. McCollum when he was struggling? Would LeBron James get that credit, or has he ever gotten that credit when he passed the ball up to a guy for a better shot? Ever?
He's never gotten that. He's never got that
Okay,
credit.
so I want to check that we hold our superstars to different standards here. But, also, imagine if social media existed back in the day. Now, all that we know about Michael, his gambling problems, the way he used to fight teammates constantly, and even let's go to Kobe, too. Let's go to Kobe, the way Kobe was in practice. If social media was really around for the way those two were, would we we remember those dudes as gamers. Now we hear LeBron wants to run a tight ship in practice, and he's too tight, and guys don't want to play with him. What does that say about that? Says less about LeBron and more about the player nowadays to me, that they're just a bunch of babies.
That's exactly what it is.
It's
I'm with you on that.
And
I'm with you on
that. Last thing I want to say is, when it comes to LeBron and Kobe, I hate this comparison because I think we shouldn't compare them. If you want to compare people to Michael, you compare Kobe, you compare Gilbert Arenas, Tracy McGrady, you compare Carmelo Anthony, you compare scorers. Michael was an all-around great player, but he was a scorer first. You want to compare LeBron? Current day, you compare him to Draymond. Draymond's like a C+ LeBron. Back in the day, you compare him to Magic. You compare him to Oscar Robertson. These guys that were big and could do everything. So for me, the comparison just doesn't exist in my world between these two guys.
Yeah. Their roles are different on the floor. It's funny. Like LeBron, what he does to an entire team. It's not just scoring, but like you said, it's defensively, it's leadership, it's locker room, it's big brother, it's what he does to a team is magnificent. Michael Jordan played for the Bulls. He decided to go play baseball. That team was still great. They were still going to the playoffs.
Made the Eastern Conference Finals. Made the Eastern Conference Finals with Scotty as their leader. Like, seriously.
Oh my goodness.
55.
Every team that LeBron has went to before has been trash. Every team that he's left afterwards has been trash. LeBron does so much to a team, and it's not just scoring.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Now, will he, number one, there's rumors of him leaving the Lakers trading him, which I think would be foolhardy. But if they don't, will he right that ship in LA, and will he get a championship or enough championships to catch Michael?
He signed a 4-year deal for a reason. I think he's going to ride it out. I think he's content. I think he's in a good position for his family. I think it was a great business move as well. I think he's going to ride it out. I don't think he loves basketball. I'm not saying he doesn't want to win, but I think he's content with his legacy. He's not going to kill himself in his last few years, his last 5 years or so in the NBA, to try and live up to other people's standards. He's going to do what he got to do. He's going to give it his best shot. He's going to bring talent to LA. I don't think he's leaving though. And it's hard to say whether or not he's going to catch MJ in regards to rings, because he's up against Golden State, man. That may be another topic, but I don't think those Bulls would have beat this Golden State. I'm sorry, man. Those boys
we could argue that. We could argue that one, because and it depends on which rules. It depends on which rules. You go back to 90s rules.
Man.
You go back to 90s rules, and the Bulls are going to beat them 80-75 every game. Every game, they will just defense them.
No, man. The NBA, I hate that, man. The NBA is still very physical. Have you seen these playoffs? These guys are acting up, man.
It's physical, but you can't hand check a guy. That was huge.
I get it.
If Steph Curry
who is going to stop KD on them Bulls? Man, that's another subject. I'm sorry, man. But
you forget Scotty, brother. You forget Scotty. Don't forget Scotty. Don't forget him. He was a bad man. He was a bad man defensively.
You got 4. If Cousins play, you got 5 of those boys, man. The Bulls was not messing with them, man.
I'm telling you.
Listen. To go back, man, I don't know if he's going to catch MJ in rings, because he is up against that Golden State. Golden State may be breaking up. We don't know what's going to happen there, but it's hard to predict. If I had to put mine there, though, I don't think he's going to catch MJ, man. In his last 5, I don't know if he's going to get another 4 or another 3. So
Yeah, it's a lot to ask.
yeah.
So last thing, leave before we close out the podcast. If LeBron James, say something happens and LeBron James has to walk away today, do you think he accomplished everything that he wanted to accomplish on a basketball court? He won won Olympic gold medals. He NBA champion, best player on the planet since the moment he stepped on the court, brought 2 franchises to championships, so many things. And then off the court with his social awareness, things he's done, the I Promise schools now, and movies and things that he's getting into. Do you think he could walk away today, right now, and be just satisfied with everything he's ever done?
I believe he can. And I wouldn't even be upset with him. When you look at legends, whether it's musicians, when it comes to actors, when it comes to athletes, we oftentimes like to see them take their exit while they're still up. You don't want to see an AI or, I know AI's my boy. Yeah, I love AI. It's my favorite player ever. But sometimes when you see them begin to take falls after falls after falls, it's like, oh man, okay, it's hard. Because again, greatness is ideal to memory, and I think we give him. He gets a lot of flack. He gets a lot of backlash now. But if he walks away, I feel like he's accomplished everything that he wants. He's a legend. He's accomplished a lot more than he expected to, that we expected to. Even though he doesn't have this amount of rings, he's done absolutely everything else.
Yep.
He will walk away with an amazing legacy right now, today. And I think the talk amongst who was the greatest, watch how that's going to change when he does walk away. Watch how many people will look back, look at those highlights, will look at him and say, you know what, he might have been better than Michael.
Well, listen, he might have the most, besides Michael's tongue out, legs open dunk, the second most iconic picture possibly in basketball is him doing the alley-oop dunk with Dwayne Wade with the arms spread out. That really might be the second most iconic picture in basketball history, because he's going up doing his signature alley-oop slam because that Wade had just left for him, and Wade has his arms thrown out like, this is what it is, this is who we are. And it is one of the coolest pictures in basketball history.
I know the exact picture you are talking about. Yeah, I love that picture.
But all right, man. Kenny, this was great fun to have you on, brother.
Oh, man, this was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. You got to have me again, man. You got to have me again. Maybe when LeBron leaves, we'll have this talk again.
Maybe. I should definitely have the podcast by then still. I don't plan on quitting. So, but again, this was my man, Kenny Verges. He is my brother in actual work, what I do full time, a union insulator. He is obviously, as you heard, a LeBron apologist, but he's also a great basketball fan, a great basketball mind. Appreciate him coming on to the Sports Opinions podcast. Again, I am your host, Alex Cuesta. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at @A_Cuesta30. Find Sports Opinions on Twitter at SportsOpinion30, Instagram Sports Opinions 30. Visit our Facebook page and find this podcast and any other Sports Opinions podcast in the past on anywhere you can find a podcast. Quite literally, just go type it into the Google machine and I will pop up. This show will pop up and you will get to have plenty of great guests like Kenny and spewing out all their sports knowledge and opinions. So once again, I appreciate everyone listening. I appreciate Kenny coming on. This was the Sports Opinions podcast. Everybody have a good one.